G'day again, welcome back. Question 4. A rowing team consists of 8 rowers and a coxswain. The rowers are selected from 12 students in Year 10. The coxswain is selected from 4 students in Year 9. In how many ways could the team be selected? First key to look at is that word there, and. What does and mean in any sort of probability or calculation? And is multiply. So immediately when you look at the answers, these two are wrong because they've got a plus in them. You want to multiply. What's the difference between C and P? Well, if we just look at these two, 12C8 is 12 factorial over 12 minus 8 factorial multiplied by 8 factorial. And in that case that's 495. And 12P8 is 12 factorial over 12 minus 8 factorial, which equals 49958 400. Pretty big number. So what's the difference between C and P? Well, P is valid if we need them in some sort of specific order, okay? So you're picking these, but you're picking the 8 people in order. So you want like a captain, and then you want a vice captain, and then you want a third person in that specific order. Okay, so Fred, then Bob, then Jerry, then whoever, and you want them in that specific order. That's the number you're looking at. This one, you don't care, because it's a team. So whether I pick Fred, then Bob, then Jerry, it's the same as if I pick Jerry, then Bob, then Fred, or Bob, then Fred, then Jerry, etc., etc. So this one, there's no order. Okay? So, rule that cross out because that belongs to that and. This one, there's no order. So you're just picking the whole team, and this is what we're looking for. Because we don't care about the order. There's no list there that says we need them in order. So this is what we're looking for. We're looking for the C's. So we're going to go for answer C. Okay, question 5. What are the asymptotes of y equals 3x over brackets x plus 1 brackets x plus 2? So they give you these 3 answers, and it's pretty straightforward if you can keep your wits about you. The bottom's really easy. You should know that -1 there and a -2 there will make the bottom invalid. So as soon as you've got 0 on the bottom, it can't exist. So that would give you either A or C. Then you've got to decide, is it a 0 or is it a 3? The easy way to start with is to put in 0 and go, okay, can I get a 0 there? Well, yes, if I put a 0 there, and this doesn't make this invalid. So you would have 1 multiplied by 2, and that's fine, because if you've got 0 equals 0 over 1 times 2, that's valid. Therefore, that's not an asymptote, and your answer must be C. If you weren't thinking like that, if you wanted to prove it, you could actually say, okay, I want to make sure that that's the asymptote, so I'm going to put in 3 equals 3x over x plus 1, x plus 2, multiply this up here and divide by 3 on both sides. So I'm going to get x plus 1, x plus 2 equals x, expand this and take off x, so we're going to get x squared plus 3x plus 2 equals x, take off x, so I'm going to take that off and make that a 2, and then find the discriminant. So we're going to go, what is the square root of b squared minus 4ac, and if you put that in here, that ends up being negative. Therefore, there's no solutions. So if there's no solutions, when you put in 3, it must be an asymptote. So the answer is C. G'day again, question 6. What is the domain of the function fx equals sine of the minus 1, 2x? Pretty straightforward. I think a simple way to start is just draw y equals sine x. So y equals sine x looks like that. we've got 2x. What does that mean? Well, that means instead of this going between here and here, if that's 2 pi, you've got this 2, meaning this doubles. Okay, so really you've got this, look, going up there. And this number here, that's 1 and that's minus 1, and this doesn't change. That's 1 and that's minus 1, so that's y equals sine x, and that's y equals sine 2x. So we change it around and we invert it going upwards. Nothing's going to change. This distance is still the same. It's going to just occur on the x-axis. And you'll have, it goes that way, etc. Okay? And we want the domain. What is the domain? The x value. So this is the domain. These things here. So that's x x equals that. Problem is we've got 2x. So 2x's must equal 1. And 2x's are also going to equal this side, so 2x's equals minus 1. Simplify that very simply. Is minus a half, and x equals a half. From there to there, that's your domain. Your answer's D. G'day again. Question 7. What is the value of k such that the integral of 1 over 4 minus x squared between k and 0 equals pi on 3? You should recognise this integral is actually on the back page and it's signed to the minus 1. This might throw you a little bit off, but let me make it more obvious. Okay, a squared minus x squared, that's actually on your integral sheet. Sine the minus 1, x over a, well our a is 2. So that equals that. So whoops, put an integral there. That equals that. Let's put in k and 0 and we get sine the minus 1 k on 2 minus sine the minus 1 0 on 2, and that's got to equal pi on 3. Well, this is just 0. And if you put that in your calculator, sine to the minus 1 of 0, it's 0. So this is nothing. So we're just looking at this equals pi on 3. Well, what's pi on 3? Pi is 180. 180 divided by 3 is 60. So you're going to have sine to the minus 1 of k on 2 equals 60 degrees. And you should be able to do that pretty much in your head, but you can just look at your triangles. Oh, you only have to look at one triangle, don't you? This one. That's 1. That's 2, not root 3. And that's root 3. There's your triangle, which you should remember. What's 60? SOHCAHTOA. Sine equals opposite over hypotenuse. So root 3 on 2. So this bit here is root 3 on 2. So k on 2, which is that, must be root 3 on 2. Well, that makes it really obvious. What's k? K is b, which is root 3. Question 8. What is the value of limit as x approaches 3 of sine x minus 3 over x minus 3 x plus 2? What you've got to recognise here is that you've got sine of something over the same thing. Okay, those are the same. So if you can remember your limits, you've got a special limit as x approaches 0 of sine of x over x. Alright, so that goes to 1. And you've got the same thing here, you just need to recognise it. Because as x goes to 3, this goes to 0 and this goes to 0. So x is going towards 0. So that section of it there is actually 1. So what you've really got is what is the limit as x approaches 3, sine over that is 1, so this bit sine x minus 3 over x minus 3, this bit here is just 1. And then you're multiplying by 1 over x plus 2. And so all you're doing is you're putting a 3 there. So you're going to equal 1 over 3 plus 2, which is a fifth.